name's Carrie, and this is Simply Freedom. Welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about our gift budget for Christmas. We spend $600 for Christmas gifts each year, and that covers 9 people. Specifically, we have 2 college-age daughters. It's gifts for myself and my husband, my parents, my mother-in-law, and 2 nieces that are ages 12 and 14. My husband and I sometimes opt out of giving each other gifts, partly because we don't know what we want, don't have ideas for each other, or simply don't want to spend the money. We allocate about half of the Christmas budget, $300, towards our girls, but we don't always end up actually spending that full amount. And I also, it's kind of high, partly because I want to make sure I have enough to put stocking stuffers in. I used to not remember that I needed to buy stocking stuffers, and amazingly, stockings add up really fast. I've been learning some ways about putting inexpensive items in there that can fill it up, which I can share in another video if anybody's interested, but those kinds of things help a lot, but they do add up, so I do kind of set aside $20 of that of the $300 for each of them for their stocking. We actually have a very large extended family. My husband is one of 7 children, and there are, I believe, 11 nieces and nephews that we've had. A lot of them are becoming adults, but 11 nieces and nephews on that side of the family. And at one time we did do adult gift exchanges in order to keep the costs down, and I don't believe we ever did an exchange with the kids. If we did, it was maybe one time. I think it was only 3 of us that actually had kids at the time, and 3 or 4 of us that had kids, and for some reason we never did an exchange with them. But good idea if you have a lot of little kids that you need to buy gifts for, is to have the kids also do an exchange with them. I guess I just want to touch on some various things. I guess I do have to send part of the gift budget. The $600 is sending some of those gifts, specifically to the nieces and our parents. My mother-in-law does seem to like to get a check or a gift card, but the other gifts have to be mailed, and so part of the $600 gift budget is also to include shipping. So I also try to keep in mind lighter weight items if possible, although with flat rate shipping, that's been helpful not to worry about that quite as much. The 2 nieces get about approximate budget of $40 a piece. My parents, between the 2 of them, sometimes they get a joint gift. We budget $60. Again, that includes shipping. And then my husband and myself, we allocate about $50 a piece too, in addition to about $50 for my mother-in-law. Again, I really don't know how much we used to spend when it was a bigger family. But I will say, having fewer people to buy for is so much less stressful than buying for lots and lots of people. I mean, the nieces and nephews was a tough one. Tried to do simple gifts like soccer balls or little nail polish gifts or bath sets, gift cards, toy truck, a little stuffed animal, or if it was a baby, you might have just gotten a teething ring or something like that, or a simple outfit. But even those can add up pretty quickly, but most of the kids were happy to just have something to open, so it can be done. Let's see. Oh, and part of the reason our gift giving changed was because we ended up moving away from most of the family. And I think the first year I tried to mail gifts to everybody and realized pretty quickly how costly that was to mail, and then also realized that it wasn't reciprocated. That some family members, because we weren't there, realized they weren't, or just decided on their own that they weren't giving us gifts. So if you didn't show up, you didn't get a gift. So it was kind of easy. There was no real discussion there. Is just what happened. And I think all of us are probably just perfectly fine with the way it worked out. We tend to still give for our parents out of respect, because they are our parents. My mother-in-law no longer reciprocates a gift to us. In fact, she does not give us a gift for birthdays or any other holiday, not even Christmas, which is perfectly fine. She is on a fixed income, and I think in recent years has tried to make her limited budget go to any of the younger kids that are in high school or below. So my kids now are no longer getting gifts from her either. Which again is perfectly fine. I have I'm only sharing just how our budget has worked out and why it's that way. My parents do reciprocate with a gift between my husband and I. Usually it's cash, whereas we usually give a physical gift that we mail. And I think a few years ago, this is kind of interesting with my sister, so I have one sister, and she's married, and they have 2 children that are adopted. And when those girls came into the family about 5 years ago, I think we were still at that first year doing gifts, again, mailing them to my new nieces and my sister and her husband. And I remember talking to my sister, and I feel like she was talking about other family members and stressing about what to get, some of her in-laws, for example. And I just remember thinking that I got somewhat stressed trying to figure out what to get for my brother-in-law, or to get something for my sister as well. And I just happened to suggest, I said, if it would help, I feel like maybe us adults, between me, my sister, my husband, my brother-in-law, that the 4 of us no longer need to be buying each other gifts. And I kind of said, what you could do is you could take that budget and put it towards your kids. Go do something fun with your kids. Don't spend your time, because she is a teacher. She's very busy. So there's only so much time you have, and you have gifts to buy. So the fewer gifts you have to buy, the more time you save by not having to buy those gifts. And so I think it was a huge relief for her to cross 2 other people off the list. I'm not sure if she's ever crossed anyone else off the list, but I do think that she found relief in not exchanging gifts. Occasionally she'll still send me some little something at the beginning of the holiday season. I guess the last couple of years I've got just like a Christmas scented doTERRA essential oil in the mail, so I can put that in our diffuser and make it smell pretty and nice. So but at least the expectation of giving each other gifts at Christmas when we aren't even together is not there, and I'm actually very appreciative. And I think someday that will happen with the nieces. I would think my sister at some point, for my girls that are in their early 20s, I would think she'd want to stop giving them gifts. I could be wrong, and that's fine if she doesn't. But sometimes it seems like at some point that drops off. And so I'm thinking she may be okay someday, semi-soon, maybe not quite yet, with me not giving her girls gifts. But on the other hand, they are new to the family, and as their aunt, I'm happy to give them and send them a gift. I think they like getting gifts in the mail. That makes them happy. So it's not really about how much we spend. It's just the thought that counts when we give a gift. So as long as I have good gift ideas to give, then I'm happy to send them something. That is our Christmas gift budget. And again, we set aside $50 every month, starting in January. The $50 in December generally just goes straight to my mother-in-law as a cash gift. And usually by about this time in November, I've put another $50 into the fund, even though I've already started buying gifts. So the money is there by the time most of the money is there by the time I start buying gifts in October and November. So I highly suggest saving up for it. I mean, our budget in comparison to our whole income is relatively small, and it's probably something I could come up with in a month or two. but it's just peace of mind knowing I've set that money aside and it's there when I'm ready to go buy things. So, what is your Christmas budget? Have you figured out a way to simplify your gift giving and reduce your gift budget? Let me know down in the comments. I'm interested to hear who you have to buy for, who you want to buy for, how much you spend, and ways that you've found to reduce who you're sending gifts to. So thanks for listening. See you soon. Bye.